everyone, it's Erin. Welcome to our Friday night yin class. We'll be using a couple blankets, a block, and a strap tonight, so just having your props or whatever you're using somewhere nearby. We'll get started on our backs. So, finding a comfortable shape on the floor, on your back. Maybe with arms out long and legs out long. Maybe bending the knees, planting the soles of the feet wide and letting the knees fall in together. Or connecting the soles of the feet and letting the knees fall out wide. Hands might rest on the floor, on your body, or maybe come up overhead. And with the gaze either up at the ceiling or eyes closed, we'll just start to find stillness. And perhaps this is the first time today you've been intentionally still. Starting to notice how it feels in the body to be here right now. And as we find physical stillness, we'll begin to work toward finding mental stillness as well. And to do that, we'll start to focus the attention on the breath. If you haven't already done so, bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest near the heart. And closing the lips, we'll begin to inhale and exhale through the nose. As you breathe, first start by just observing the quality of the breath. Perhaps the placement of your hands on your body gives you some feedback about that. Noticing the depth and the speed. And next, we'll start to intentionally bring some length and depth into the breath. So you inhale through the nose, drawing that breath all the way down into the belly, feeling it rise under the palm of your hand. And exhale, feeling the belly fall back towards the spine. Again, inhaling into the belly. And exhaling to let that go. Next inhale, we'll draw into the belly. And then the rib cage, letting the ribs move away from each other, expanding out to the sides. And exhale, letting the upper body contract. Another inhale like that into the belly and ribs. And exhale, letting everything fall back in together. Next, we'll inhale into belly, ribs, and lift the chest, feeling that upper hand lift, feeling the collarbone lift. And exhale, feeling both hands sink back towards the earth. Inhale, belly, ribs, and chest. And exhale to release. Continue with this 3-part breath. For a few more rounds. Playing around with the length and the depth. And just finding what feels natural. And then next, inhale. We'll reach arms up overhead and send legs out long if you haven't already done so. Finding a full body stretch. Reaching through fingertips and toes. And then exhale to let that go. Keeping arms up overhead, we'll walk hands and feet over to the right, creating a curved shape in the body. If you want to deepen this a little bit, you can grasp left wrist with right hand. Maybe cross left ankle over right, finding banana pose. Into a side opener. Sending the breath into the left side of the body. Take 2 more inhales and exhales here. And at the bottom of your exhale, bring hands and feet back to center. And then walk them over to the left. Creating that curve on the opposite side, maybe grasping right wrist and crossing right ankle. And settling in, allowing the breath to do the rest of the work. Two more rounds of breath on this side. The bottom of your exhale will come back to center. And then drawing knees into chest. Wrapping hands around shin or back of thighs. Start to make some circles with the knees on the ceiling. In one direction, and then grow larger or smaller And then taking them in the other direction. And then coming back to center, we'll move up to a seated position, either by rocking along the spine or by rolling off to one side and using hands to press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. We'll be here for a few minutes, so you may want to grab a blanket or your block to place under the hips. That makes a cross-legged seat more comfortable for you. And when you found your tall seat, on an inhale, we'll circle arms up overhead. And then exhale to circle them behind the back, clasping hands at the base of the spine, finding a heart opener, broadening the front of the chest, maybe lifting the chin, and lifting the gaze without cranking the head back too much. Inhale here. And then an exhale, we'll swing our clasped hands over towards the right hip, bending the elbows. Feeling an opening through the left side of the neck and that left shoulder. Inhale to lift through the crown of the head. And then exhale, we'll start to draw the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Deepening that opening in the side of the neck. Maybe playing around with the direction of your gaze, starting to shift the eyes down towards the floor or up towards the ceiling. Feeling all the little tiny muscles of the neck. And then meeting back in center with inhale to lift front of the head back up, and fingertips back towards the base of the spine. And then exhale to bring hands over to the left. Inhaling at center. And then we'll exhale to drop left ear towards left shoulder. And maybe staying right here or starting to shift the gaze up and down. And then finding stillness. Next inhale, we'll come back to center, lifting gaze, pressing hands away. And then exhaling to release those interlaced hands. Shake out the shoulders a little bit. All right, and then we'll grab our strap. And we're going to do my favorite shoulder flossing sequence here. So finding our strap, we'll begin with a kind of a narrow grip about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider, but not too wide. We'll inhale to bring the strap up overhead. Exhale to bend at the elbows, pulling the strap behind the back of the head to about shoulder height. Inhale to press up overhead. And exhale to pull down like you're pulling a pull-up bar behind your head almost. Inhale to press. Exhale to pull. Move through this a few more times, taking it nice and slow. And kind of imagine that you're trying to almost like pull, like rip your strap in half, not like actually doing that, but sort of like energetically pulling your fists away from each other to create some tension. All right, and the next time you come up overhead, we'll pause and then exhale to just drop hands forward. And then we'll take a wider grip so that when you've got that grasp and you have your hands lowered all the way down, the strap falls to about hip height. It's a good place to start. You can widen or narrow your grasp as we go here. So beginning in front, we'll inhale, arms up overhead again. And then exhale to drop the arms behind your back, coming all the way down to the hips again. Inhale to come back up. And exhale forward, drawing shoulder blades away from each other as you come in front of the body. Inhale up. Exhale back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Inhale, squeeze, drawing the arms up overhead. Exhale, pulling the shoulder blades away, coming back forward. And we can continue a few more rounds of this on your own. You're having a hard time getting the strap behind your back, try widening your grip. And if you are not getting a whole lot of sensation as you do this, you can take a narrower grip. And again, taking this super slow. It's kind of an intense opening for the shoulder joint. So being gentle with ourselves. And after your last round, we'll meet with the strap in front. And then just release that, set it off to the side. Fill up the shoulders and neck a little bit. And we'll do one last seated arm exercise here before we move on. This time we'll clasp fingers in front of the body. And we're going to bring palms flat right underneath the chin. So the chin's resting on our interlaced fingers. We don't have palms touching each other. We have like a flat plane with the arms. From here, we're going to inhale to lift the elbows up as high as you can. Kind of don't go too far, just towards the edge of your range of motion, keeping the chin down. And then exhale, tilt the chin back. Bring bring elbows together, shoulder blades open wide. Inhale, chin forward, elbows up. Exhale, chin back, elbows together, keeping the knuckles connected to the chin the whole time. Inhale, elbows up, chin forward. Exhale, elbows together, chin back. Inhale, elbows up, chin down. Exhale, elbows together, chin back. Do one more of these. Inhale, elbows up, chin down. Exhale, elbows together, chin back. And then inhale, come back to the neutral seat. Hands can rest on the thighs. Take a moment to find that tall seat. And then on an exhale, we'll rock forward onto hands and knees. If you don't already have a blanket, fold it up once or twice on your mat. We'll grab one of those and set it kind of like underneath your belly as you're in tabletop. And from here, we're going to move into a puppy dog pose and use this as a kind of a support, grounding support for the heart. For this, we're going to walk the hands a little bit forward. And then exhale to send the heart towards the ground, send the hips up, keeping them lifted away from the heels. Bringing the heart to connect to our blanket. And maybe adjusting it or stacking another one on top. And the forehead ground down, forearms ground down. You can use the height of the blanket to adjust the depth of shoulder opening you get here. So the higher you stack your blanket up, the gentler this pose will be. And the lower your blanket is, or if you remove it entirely, you'll get a pretty deep shoulder opener. And finding the breath again. If it's gotten away from you. Inhaling through the nose into the belly. And exhaling through the nose. Next, inhale, lift back up to a tabletop. Hands at knees, and then we'll remove that blanket from underneath us. All fours. Next inhale, we'll sweep the right arm up towards the sky, and then take a couple of big circles with that right arm. Switching directions. And then inhaling to reach back up. Exhale to thread right arm through, left arm, left leg. Bending the right shoulder and right ear to the ground to thread the needle. And the left palm can stay planted under the shoulder, or walk fingertips up overhead, or maybe find a bind, wrapping it behind the back of the body, reaching for the right thigh. Doing what feels good in your body today. And that might be different than the last time you did this shape. taking an arm variation, we'll re-plant the left palm. Inhale to press through, sweeping right arm up overhead. And exhaling to find neutral tabletop. Moving into our second side. We'll inhale to sweep left fingertips up this time, and then take some big circles with the left arm. Feeling the range of motion in that shoulder, switching directions, really reaching through the fingertips. Next inhale brings fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale to thread left arm through, finding thread the needle. Settling the left shoulder, left cheek onto the mat. And then choosing where right arm goes. And then if you've taken a variation, the right hand, bringing the palm to connect back to your mat. Inhaling to sweep left arm up and open. And exhaling to find tabletop once again. From here, we'll rock back to sit on our heels. And then all the way through to find a seat on our sits bones. Legs out in front of us, we'll plant soles of the feet on the mat. Knees will be bent. And we'll plant palms of the hand right under our shoulders with fingertips facing forward. And we're just going to move through a dynamic reverse tabletop a few times here. So grounding through the palms and grounding through the heels. We'll inhale to lift hips up, creating a flat surface across the knees and shoulders. And then exhale to lower hips back down. Maybe adjusting the position of your feet and hands for whatever feels most stable for you. And then we'll just flow with this. So inhaling to lift hips. And exhaling to come back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Just do 3 more of those. Keeping the chin tucked a little bit. And after your last round, we'll come back to seated on our sits bones. And we're going to block. Simply sit, coming into hero's pose, actually, so seated on the knees. And if you would like to sit on the block, if that makes us a little more comfortable, I invite you to go ahead and do that. And we'll grab our strap once again. And you may not need the strap for this, but I do. We're gonna find a cow face arms and just do the upper body portion of this shape today because we haven't really warmed the hips up for the lower body half of this pose. So first side, we're gonna bring right arm up and over, and then the elbow dropping, right hand right behind the neck. And then bring that strap to hold with the top arm. And then bring bottom arm behind the back. And either clasping hands or grabbing the strap, using tension of that to come into our shoulder opener. And here, keeping the tailbone a little bit tucked and keeping the rib cage knitted in together to avoid splaying out. I want to create some stability in the midsection. Easy to do that when we come into a heart opener or shoulder opener, to kind of forget about keeping the core of the body stable. And you found your version of cow face arms today, sending the breath into those shoulder joints. Sending the breath into the belly. One more inhale and exhale on this side. At the bottom of the exhale, we'll release the grasp on the hands, the strap, roll the shoulders out a little bit, and move to the second side. So we'll just keep hold of our strap with the left arm this time, reaching up and over behind the head, and then bringing that right arm behind the back, finding clasped hands, or finding the strap, choosing the depth and intensity here, and then tuning back into the breath. And as always, adjusting your posture if you need to in order to breathe. That's the most important part. Take one more full breath on this side. And bottom of your exhale, release that grip. Bringing arms back in front of you. Roll up the shoulders. We'll set our strap aside. And move the cuffs underneath us. Coming forward to hands and knees. We'll bring arms out long. Send hips back to heels for an extended child's pose. Again, grounding the forehead, grounding the forearms and palms. Taking the knees as wide or as narrow as you would like. Option here to take a prayer behind the back of the head, bending with the elbows. fingers into the palms, just dropping the thumbs to the back of the neck. And taking that prayer hand position, we'll bring palms back to plant on the mat. And walk both hands over to the right. I'll bring the left side of the body, maybe stacking left hand on top of right. Energetically sending that left hip back towards left heel. Next inhale, we'll walk hands back to center. And then exhale over to the left, maybe stacking right hand on top of left. And pressing that right hip back. Opening the right side of the body. Next inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale here. And then on an inhale, slither forward onto the belly. Full front of the body connects to the mat. And we'll send our right arm out to a T. Palm plants on the ground beside us. And then on an exhale, we'll roll over onto the right side. Rolling onto that right shoulder. Bringing left toes up and over behind us. The kickstand. Keeping that left palm planted in front of you. Some stability. And shedding the breath into intense shoulder opener. Take 2 more full breaths on this side. And as you exhale, we'll roll back onto the belly. Draw that right palm back in towards the body. And then send the left arm out to a T. Shoulder height. And start to slowly roll onto the left side. Tapping right toes. The sole of the foot behind you. 2 long breaths on this second side. And then exhale to slowly roll back onto the belly, off of that left shoulder. And then we'll bring arms out in front of us, stacking hands, resting the forehead on them. Just allowing the legs to relax out long, heels can fall away from each other. And then from here, simply rolling onto our backs. However you would like. And when you have an opportunity to take any past movements or postures or shapes that your body is calling for, or you can start to move right into your final resting position if you're ready for that. Whatever that might look like. Setting up any props you need in order to be comfortable. If you haven't already done so, moving toward your final Shavasana. Finding that physical and mental stillness once again, just like at the beginning of class. Drawing the attention back to the breath. That helps you to do so. Closing the eyes. And just allowing the physical body to fully let go. Finding some depth, the breath again, feeling the rise and fall of the belly, feeling the fresh air start to reawaken your physical body. And as you're ready, starting to find some small movements in the body, gently waking everything back up. On an inhale, reaching arms up overhead, reaching through fingertips and toes for a full body stretch. And then exhaling to curl to either side, pausing here for a moment, a breath or two before moving back up to a seated position. With eyes still closed, we'll bring hands to heart center. Taking a deep inhale through the nose. And a full exhale out the mouth. Keeping eyes open. Bring thumbs to third eye center. Bowing forward. Namaste. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. And I will see you next week.